Drawing lines on window mounts. Candidates must be able to accurately mark the corners of mount decorating lines and draw lines which must be parallel, accurate and evenly applied. Pencil or pin markings must not be easily detectable on the finished item. The purpose of mount decorating lines is to subtly complement and enhance artwork. They should not dominate the artwork or attract the viewer's eye. Rather, they should help to draw the eye from the frame and into the artwork. There are no rules regarding the combination of colours and number of lines, since such matters are a question of taste and design. However, some general guidelines can be provided. Lines should be drawn close to the window aperture, leaving most of the window mount free from decoration of any kind. It is widely accepted that more extensive decoration looks messy and starts to dominate the artwork. A standard formula is that a maximum of 40% of the window mount, that closest to the artwork, can be decorated, but that the remaining 60% should be left plain. Listed below are some popular lining combinations. A single line is a perennially popular simple lining technique. This is usually drawn between 5mm and 15mm away from the start of the bevel, depending upon the size of the artwork. If a single line is required, this is often gold or reflects one of the main or contrast colours in the artwork. A single black line looks best if there is quite a bit of black in the image, otherwise it appears too strong. Two lines in the same colour. This often takes the form of a thin inner line about 1 centimetre away from the bevel, with a thicker outer line approximately 2 to 5mm beyond this. These lines are usually drawn in colours that are subtle, pale reflections of the colours in the artwork. Multiple lines. If 3 or more lines are required, the distance between these should increase the further they are from the artwork. This helps to draw the eye inwards towards the artwork. Some guidelines for drawing lines using a ruling pen. 1. Ensure that your board is properly sized. Before starting to draw lines, you will need to mark out their positions. Most framers use a specially designed corner gauge. Figure 10. Corner gauges are marked with distances that are standard for mount decorating. It is best to mark the corners lightly with a fine pencil or pinhole. 2. Lining ink, watercolour paint or acrylic paint should be diluted to the desired colour with purified water. Purified water will not leave brown stains on paper as it dries. It is safest to always use this in mount decoration. If a drop of watercolour paint leaks onto the mount board, this can sometimes be washed out with purified water without leaving a watermark when dry. 3. If you are trying a new colour or mix of colours, be sure to test this on an offcut of mount board. 4. The nib of your ruling pen can be adjusted using a screw dial on the side to narrow or widen the width of the ruled line. On good quality pens, this dial is marked with a scale for calibration. 5. Your ruling pen should be loaded with ink using a small watercolour paintbrush. Practice is the only real way of discovering how much ink to use. If you overload the pen, the ink will form unwanted blobs, and if you underload it, you will need to stop midline to refill the pen. This too is likely to result in blobbing. If you do have to stop midline, start again at the point you left off. Do not go over what you have already done. 6. Draw your line with the aid of a framer's ruler. A ruler with 1 or more rubber strips along its underside is unlikely to move whilst being used. The gap created by the rubber strips can help to prevent colour bleed.